if all of my friends are older and none of them are really at this school or in school at all, then, why don't I foster those connections outside? And I mean, I don't want to say no one tried to stop me, but it happened. And
Hmm.
I think in terms of what I advise, both like the people when I serve as a mentor for people and when, and for my own children, it's the idea of if you can figure out what you're excited about, what you're passionate about, like that, that Platonic Socratic idea of learn everything, but eventually you're going to figure out your aptitudes and your passions, and then we're going to guide you along those paths. It's trying to really apply that at the earliest possible phase, and then also help to see the interconnectedness. I know somebody who, wants to be an engineer, but also wants to be an artist, but also wants to be an architect. And so there are lots of conversations about, well, let's talk about the intersections of where those things go, so math, right? Art, sketching, drawing, absolutely. Science and understanding how things fit together. And just study those things and enjoy those and find, passion in them and be excited by them. And we can figure out what you're going to be when you grow up later. And oh, by the way, you can change your mind and you can change your mind again and again and again. And so I think also it's kind of the generation that I'm in, where it's, we grew up thinking that we picked a career and that was your career for life. And oh, if you change, it's because of retirement or you're bucking a trend. And careers don't really work like that anymore. We've seen that borne out. So just trying to instill that early on, just to say you don't have to make one choice and stick with it. So do what you're excited about. It's that if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And it's like, yeah, work is still work. You still have to work.
Yeah.
But if you're doing what you love, you'll find those things more naturally.
I just finished yesterday. I mean, it's only 17 minutes long, but for some reason it took me a little time to watch Jerry Seinfeld's Duke graduation
Oh
address.
yeah, I want to catch that. Yeah.
And he speaks to the value of work for work's sake. And he also speaks to some kids can't know their, for whatever reason, going on mental health or just whatever's going on in their life plan, they can't know what they're excited about yet. And so that great, then that'll be in the future. So it's like wherever you are in this developmental path, you can know that eventually you will figure that out if you allow yourself to be open to it and you don't, you know, ding yourself all the time for not being at some place where you think you should be, because there's so many different paths, right? As you yourself saw with your own, like, I'm gonna do poetry, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, you're getting me again to quote my favorite quote of probably that I've well, definitely in my top 5 quotes that I've ever read, which is Meg Wheatley, the
Yes.
business consultant from Utah, in the book Leadership and the New Science, the 1998 edition. I think she changed it. But in the epilogue, she talks about how complexity and all this stuff that we're learning, quantum, about how the universe really works. Yeah, we need to bring it into our concepts of leadership and organizations. And she says at the end, she goes, based on everything I know about science, we need to live our lives in confidence, knowing that every step we take gets us closer to understanding the meaning of our lives. I read that and it was like, yes, I mean, that is my anchor. It's an idea that lifts me when I get in an occasional rut or whatever. I
Mhm.
just I just remember that and it lifts me again.
So that is like the promised land in time. That's like
Hmm.
the Jews wandering your whole life trying to figure out where's this promised land with the land of milk and honey. And that's the promised land in time. And it's not a one time in your life. It's this understanding that grows and grows and grows. That's
Yes, well,
that's
and
so cool.
and she never says every step you take eventually gets you to understand the meaning of your life. She said
No,
every step you take gets you closer to
right,
understanding the meaning of your life.
right.
Yeah, see, I love that idea, but the word that sticks in my head is this idea of confidence, because I don't
Mm.
That's not something I've ever really considered myself to be. And for people who know me, they'll be like, hang on. It's like, no, there's a lot of bravado happening here. There's a lot of fake it till you make it. There's a lot of, I, I would say it's imposter syndrome, but I've kind of reclaimed imposter syndrome. I had a friend once say, you're not an imposter. You are a trickster goddess and you've got them all fooled. Good
Yes.
for you.
Right.
So
I love that.